Did you know that a cellular change occurs in the body within 3 days after consuming junk food? And according to a Spanish study, people who eat a lot of fast food are 51% more likely to be depressed than those who avoided it. The question is, if you're addicted to junk food and you're fighting depression and anxiety, what's happening in your brain? How does a diet alter your food intake at a neurological level? But more importantly, how do you break this cycle? Hi, I'm Ben Angel and I teach people how to biohack their way back to health. Before we dive in, hit like, subscribe, and click the link below to join thousands of others who have already downloaded my brand new book, Mind Control, to learn how to biohack their gut, mind, and mood. There are powerful, potent chemicals in our brain that's affected by certain foods, and the type of food affects how they're manufactured. These neurotransmitters communicate directly with our brain. Imbalances in neurotransmitters make you much more likely to suffer from addiction, anxiety, depression, insomnia, and other mental health disorders. A neurotransmitter works much like how a train works when entering a station. Your brain is the platform, and the neurotransmitters are carried along neurons and axons like a terminal. The neurotransmitter chemical is released from the neuron through the synapse or gap to the brain. The gap you see between the train and the platform is where the neuron communicates seamlessly with the synapse. That gap should be close enough to allow the receptors to receive various neurotransmitter molecules. If you've ever traveled on a train, you can often hear the conductor say, "Mind the gap," which is a great way to describe mind what you're putting into your body to keep that synaptic cleft or gap snug and clear of debris. Things go wrong when inflammations enter into this mechanism and fouls things up on a cellular level. The foundation of your body is cells. Billions dictate their needs to various systems and each other through receptors, peptides, and different chemical communication pathways. Once your cells are inflamed, it's almost impossible to have anything good enter your cells. Think of it like a turnstile at the train station. You're eating all of this great food and taking supplements, but if the turnstile doesn't allow these nutrients into the terminal, then your brain can't function properly. The same is true for the opposite. Let's say toxins impact your cells and the cells need to release them. An inflamed turnstile won't allow your cells to detox these offenders and get them out of your system. You're blocked. You're also creating a traffic jam, and soon other physiological systems will have to take on the additional stress. What's also shocking is how fast the brain is affected after having junk food. In a Yale study led by Dr. Sabrino Diano, researchers fed mice high-fat, high-carbohydrate diets that stimulate hypothalamic inflammation, which is a physiological response to obesity and malnutrition. Your hypothalamus is in charge of your autonomic nervous system and the pituitary activity that controls body temperature, thirst, hunger, and other systems involved in sleep and emotional activity. This diet created a cellular change as early as 3 days after consuming the high-fat diet before the body even began to display signs of obesity. They discovered that the cell's mitochondria, or the cell's power plant, grew smaller in that short period. It triggered the mice to eat more since the body felt it wasn't getting enough quality energy. Dr. Diano states, the study not only illustrates how high-fat diets affect us physically, but conveys how an unhealthy diet can alter our food intake neurologically. Listen up, because this is important. When you grab junk food as a temporary fix in times of desperation, you're changing the way your body demands food, causing a vicious cycle within your cells. You're probably thinking that if you just start eating healthier alternatives, it will pump up your healthy hormones. Well, you're not wrong in thinking that, but that's not exactly how it works. You can't eat certain foods to increase the levels of these hormones. You have to get them in directly by introducing amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and fats. The amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats help trigger the gut microbiome's pathway to produce these helpful hormones that have an effect via the gut-brain axis. As an example, there are specific foods that are known for their beneficial properties that affect the brain. One example is black tea, partly because L-theanine increases serotonin, dopamine, and GABA levels in the brain. The truth is, it's like an intricate dance, each partner understanding the next move, but they must know their parts. If receptors for the hormones are blocked, the dance can't continue. Your moods, energy levels, pain tolerance, and even sleep patterns are all affected by 7 essential neurotransmitters, including serotonin, catecholamines, which make up 3 neurotransmitters, dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine, glutamate, acetylcholine, and GABA. Junk food not only causes inflammation, which slows down mental cognition, it can also make us impulsive by impairing the prefrontal cortex that controls our behavior, our emotions. It also impairs memory and damages brain cells. Multiple studies have found that people who ate a poor quality diet, one that's high in processed meat, chocolates, sweet desserts, fried food, refined cereals, and high-fat dairy products, were more likely to report symptoms of depression. Sooner or later, we have to stop and ask ourselves if our diet is helping to alleviate symptoms of depression and inflammation, or is it causing it? To break the junk food cycle, there are multiple steps. Increase microbiota diversity. Because your eating behavior can be manipulated by gut bacteria, and they're essential in the creation of neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine, you'll need to repopulate your gut with healthy strains of bacteria. Cravings can be reduced by increasing gut microbiota diversity through probiotics and the introduction of pre and probiotic foods. Prebiotics feed the probiotics. 2. Remove and replace unhealthy foods that are high in sugars and processed carbs with nutritious options. Typically, after a week of cutting out sugar and junk food, you're going to notice that your cravings will start to reset and you'll be more inclined to eat healthier options. 3. Meditate on a daily basis. Your emotions are a major driver in your eating behaviors. Become aware of when you're self-soothing with food. The first step is always awareness. And 4, manage your blood sugar effectively. Few know that food cravings can trigger your fight or flight response. This is where your primal brain will take over and look for a fuel source that will provide a quick boost of glucose. By managing this, it means that you're less likely to eat when you're stressed out. As you can imagine, this is just the tip of the iceberg because you need a comprehensive and personalized approach to tackle both biological and psychological triggers to curb your cravings and fight depression. The more you understand what's at the root of your rut, the sooner you're going to feel better. So if you want a step-by-step plan, make sure you download a copy of my brand new book, Mind Control, through the link below, and join us in the interactive workshop, The Biohacker's Guide to Dismantling Depression, that will dig out the root causes of depression and anxiety and tackle them head on using a combination of nutritional psychology, biohacking, and the latest research into the gut-brain axis. Click the link below now because it's filling fast.